Greetings, Redheads. Thank you for joining me in another episode of your favorite show, the one, the only Reds View. Before I begin this video, do me a favor. Please hit that like button or the dislike button. And also make sure that you subscribe to youtube.com/RedsView. Now, without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into it. Chris Brown don't want no smoke. You heard what I said. Chris Brown don't want no smoke with Usher. Usher, baby. Man, I watched Usher, the Tiny Desk concert. First of all, I'll say this. It was not long enough. He only did like, what, 4 or 5 songs? And I was just like, what? So when I saw the 26-minute mark, I'm like, what? That should have easily been an hour. But anyway, nonetheless, we got a great Tiny Desk edition concert from Usher. Man, his vocals sounded amazing. He had Eric Bellinger and then somebody else doing the background vocals. Live band. This was a dream come true. If you love live music, the sound of live music, I thought that it was incredible. I thought it was remarkable, and it showed what we've been missing in the world of R&B. See, the thing is, Usher was an R&B singer that happened to cross over and go pop. There are a lot of pop singers that try to do R&B, but Usher truly is an R&B singer, the traditional R&B singer that actually crossed over into the pop world. And, that's what makes him on the ranks of like the Michael Jacksons and all those other ones, right? So amazing, man. And you forget about it. He looked young and healthy and everything. So the thing is, we forget about the importance of that traditional R&B without the auto-tune, with all this other stuff, you know what I'm saying? So it was very, very good. It was so much nostalgia, and it brings up the concept of this versus battle that's going to happen between Usher and Chris Brown. Now, Chris Brown happened to go on, Drink Champs. He was on Drink Champs, and I think he said after that he was approached he said that he wanted to do a versus battle with Usher, but I think that now he's been approached about doing a versus battle with Usher. And I'm telling you right now, if you watch that Tiny Desk concert, man, Chris Brown, Breezy wants no smoke. Now, I will say this. Chris Brown is a remarkable artist. He is one of the best artists of our time. There hasn't been a male R&B pop singer on Chris Brown's level that has been relevant. He's still relevant, still putting out hits, still can top the charts. There hasn't been a male R&B pop artist that has lasted as long as he has as far as relevancy. The reason that we're even having an Usher versus Chris Brown is because who out of when Chris Brown has came out until now can compete with him as far as his age range, as far as his generation and the time that he came out? Nobody. Also, who in Usher's time frame can compete with Usher at the time when he came out all the way up until now? Nobody. Besides R. Kelly. R. Kelly is sentenced to 30 years, so he won't be getting out anytime soon. Michael Jackson has passed away. Prince has passed away. You have other great R&B talents. No cap. However, Usher and Chris Brown have no competition amongst their peer groups or their generations. So now it only makes sense for them to battle each other. And I had to realize that yesterday after a phone conversation. So that's the reason that they're battling each other. Neither one of them have any competitions in their field because to me, they are different artists. However, when you're talking about comparison in the music, and we know that versus is also stage presence and everything, right? You saw what happened with Mario and Omarion. Now, Omarion, I thought was going to murder Mario. I thought Omarion was going to murder Mario simply because he has more hits, national hits, and then he performs, actually dances and all this other stuff. Mario does a little too, but Mario reminded us what traditional R&B was. And that comes where's you in that microphone without any auto-tune and being able to sing live, no matter how many hits you have. So if we're going off of that, oh my God. Now, performance-wise, Chris Brown would beat Usher. But when we're talking about vocals, which I think is the focal point of what Versus is going to be about, because it's about hits, and I'm going to get to that later, but it's also about vocals. Chris Brown does not have vocals like Usher. Now, Chris Brown can sing, don't get me wrong, but if we're at a church and I want somebody to sing and lead the choir, I'm going to hand the mic to Usher over Chris Brown. I'm going to hand that mic to Usher over Chris Brown. And if I'm capping, go look at that Tiny Desk concert. And if Chris Brown did the same concert, it wouldn't sound as good as Usher. Letting you know that straight from the jump. Now, when we're talking about hits, comparing hits, right? Sorry for that. But when we're talking about comparing hits, I love some of Chris Brown's songs, right? But Chris Brown didn't make albums. Listen to what I'm saying. Chris Brown didn't make albums. Chris Brown made playlists. Usher made albums. Michael Jackson made albums. Beyonce makes albums, not playlists. Now, this is no shade, no shots to Chris Brown, because I think what he does works for him. But you have to have a certain type of ear for his music, because when I listen to a Chris Brown album, it's filler, and you're gonna have at least 3 to 4 songs that you're gonna love. And that's okay. That's how I feel about Drake's album. I'm not gonna be a fan of some artists, you're not gonna be a fan of their albums. However, when you work with so many different writers, so many different producers, and you come up and put out a product, it's going to sound like a playlist. And that's what Chris Brown makes. So what I say that to say is, with Usher making those albums, Usher's 3 albums, Confessions, 8701, and My Way, those are enough to compete in a versus battle. And I'm talking about the whole albums, front to back. Chris Brown, also, his songs don't hit you like Usher's hit you, like in my opinion, because I was young when both of them came out. Me and Chris Brown are pretty much the same age. Also, I grew up on Usher. Now, Usher is not like light years ahead of me, but you get what I'm saying. Confessions. When you hear Confessions, what does Chris Brown have that can go against a song like Confessions Part 2? Say Goodbye? I don't think so. See, Say Goodbye was a dope song, but in my opinion, it sounds like that puppy high school love. Usher and his writers made songs for grown people. Now, of course, Deuces, No BS, all of that is dope, but I feel like Chris Brown's writers, or him himself, wrote it for his fan base other than themselves. Like, I'm in my 30s, right? I'm going to write, if I'm going to write a song for somebody, I'm going to write it to where it relates. It's me. Like Jermaine Dupri, Confessions was about him. So that was a grown man going through stuff, and then he had Usher being able to sing it. Chris Brown, to me, feels like the writers for him just tries to cater to his fan base, which makes it comes off as kind of young, and it doesn't age as well as Usher songs. So that's what it comes to, hits versus hits. I don't see Chris Brown's music being able to compete with Usher's music, especially in a versus battle when you go tit for tat. I love No BS. I love Wet the Bed. But to me, it puts me in like a young college, high school type of mind frame, opposed to Confessions really makes me think about life. Now, I'm not discrediting Chris Brown, because he has songs that do have that content in it. However, his popular stuff, his singles, really don't hit you like Usher's does. I'm a DJ. When I play Usher's music, people get up, people go wild, it takes you back to a moment in time. When I play Chris Brown's music, it gets you going, but it doesn't hit your heart. It doesn't hit your soul like Usher's music. Chris Brown is like his music, in my opinion, which is dope. And don't get it twisted. Nobody has been able to do what Chris Brown has done, lasting this long. See, Usher is somewhat relevant, but if somebody's putting out a project, more than likely people gonna go to Chris Brown. Usher has declined ever since Confessions. I'm keeping it a buck. He's been giving us some good music, but other than that, we haven't been really checking for him as much as a Chris Brown. So when it comes to relevancy, lasting for 20 years, because Chris Brown gets going on 20 years pretty soon, hey, you got to give that to Chris Brown. However, in a versus battle, in a matchup, the songs going against songs, and you're talking about vocal performances. See, Chris Brown, all he can do is dance. He can dance against Usher. But I'm telling you, man, I don't really see Look at Me Now. That's a dope song, and Usher don't really have a song that can combat that. But when you're talking about Superstar, come on now. When you're talking about Can You Handle It? When you're talking about Burn, Nice and Slow, I don't think Breezy has anything that can really go against that. So, but the versus battle will be dope nonetheless, because this will give both of them their flowers in respect for their career. No, people have done what Usher has done, but like not the way that he did it. Nobody has been able to do what Chris Brown has done. So Chris Brown deserves his flowers. He had a setback, years ago, but he was able to bounce back from that and tap into the hip hop world. And he puts albums out just like mixtapes. He's one of the hardest working men in show business, so I give respect to him. But when it comes to Usher, after that Tiny Desk concert, that should have no doubt in your mind that Usher will crush Chris Brown in that versus battle. But respect to Chris Brown. Let me know in the comment section what y'all think. I think Chris Brown wants no smoke with Usher, but let me know in the comments. Am I tripping? What do I know? Anyway, if you like this video, hit the like button. Even if you dislike it, hit the dislike button. Share it. Subscribe to youtube.com/RedsView and let me know your opinions, man. J Red signing out.